Take a deep breath in. And as you breathe in a resourceful feeling of relaxation and exhale tension. Continue to breathe in and breathe out, noticing that your eyelids get heavier and heavier. As you breathe in and breathe out, just allow any tension around your neck and your shoulders to be released, to melt away that tension, enabling you to go deeper and deeper. Relaxed. Now, as your body relaxes, your imagination can become more active, more playful. And I want you to recall a farm. And I want you to recall the time from your childhood where you were on that farm on a sunny day just before breakfast. And imagine that on this particular day, the sun was out. You were up, perhaps walking around fields, even before you had breakfast. I want you to imagine you could see cows grazing on the fields. And I want you to get a sense that the cows are eating just enough for them. And it may be that the farmer wants the cows to eat more, but they're eating just enough. They drink just enough water. They eat just enough grass. I want you to get a sense that in these animals, the default is to eat just enough. It is things outside of an individual, whether it's a human or an animal, that may want them to have more. The farmer wants the cows to eat more, to fatten them up. They're worth more if they're bigger. They can be sold for more. They can produce more meat if they're bigger. And I want you to get a sense that, just for a moment, imagine what it would be like to be a cow grazing on the fields. And there might be clues around you that they want you to eat more. That even if you've been grazing on the fields, eating the grass, when you return perhaps to a stable, there's tempting grain. There's additional things that you can still keep eating even when you really don't want to. And I want you to imagine that you start thinking that they want you to eat more. And you don't necessarily know why they want you to eat more. You're just seeing the clues that they want you to eat more. And perhaps you can see the other cows around happily eating more, even when they're not hungry, even when they've had enough. You can see them getting bigger. And maybe you start thinking, well, if it's okay for other people to get bigger and bigger, other cows to get bigger and bigger, then maybe I should get bigger and bigger too. But you can't help but think, isn't that what they want? they want you to get bigger. Imagine looking around the stables and then the biggest cow just one day isn't there anymore. And you have no idea where that cow has gone. You just piece it together that the biggest cow isn't there anymore, and that they wanted that to happen. That cow got bigger and bigger, kept being given more and more food. I want you to get a sense that, what if you were the cow that made the choice not to eat more than you actually wanted? That you would eat when you were hungry, and that's enough for you. No matter how much food is available, no matter what the other cows around you are doing, you would eat enough for you. Just enough. I want you to get a sense that somehow this just makes sense. And then imagine no longer being the cow and being yourself as a child, seeing the cow, the slimmest and healthiest looking of all the cows. Perhaps you know that that cow will have a longer, happier life than all the other cows just by following their own intuition, that they will do enough for them, and they won't eat more even if they want the cow to eat more. Imagine walking around the fields, starting to feel hungry, and then imagining that you haven't had breakfast yet, and then going to a dining room table there in the farmhouse. I want you to see the faces of those people that you remember from back then, getting a sense that people could think different things about food, and it would be true for them. Maybe you can see someone that believed that if there's more food available, you'd be crazy not to eat more. That the more, the better. And perhaps they have a larger body shape. And then imagine someone with a very different way of thinking. Perhaps someone around the table that would eat like a bird. That even if there's huge choice and availability, they would make the choice to eat less. That for them, perhaps less is more. That they could eat a small portion, perhaps just an egg. And even if they wanted her to eat more, she would resist that pressure. Resist the expectation. For her, it just wasn't for her. It's not what she did. It was enough for her. And I want you to imagine rewinding before any meal has been eaten and then jumping into the body of that person that was quite happy to eat less. I want you to get a sense that you have this urge that if you're going to eat less, you're going to be discerning. That quality is more important than quantity. Choose something that you really like the look of. And knowing that because you're eating less, you're really enjoying the smell, the texture, the taste. You enjoy that food. But then get a sense that this is enough for me. And then imagine that everyone else around the table is urging you to eat more. Hear their words. Hear what they would have said. And find that resource within you that just says, I'll do what I want to do. That this is enough for me. Feel the location of that feeling, that steely inner resolve. That just because they want you to eat doesn't mean that you will. You will do what you want to do. In fact, the more they want you to eat, the less you want to eat. You will eat what you want to eat, not what they want you to eat. And notice that when you think that way, you have less desire to eat any more than you actually need. Just like the cows in the field, you'll eat what you want to eat and not a mouthful more. You already know how to do this. The adverts on the TV are trying to get you to eat more. The discounts in the supermarket are trying to get you to eat more. The expectations of people around you are trying to get you to eat more. And yet, just because they want you to doesn't mean that you will. You will eat enough for you and not a mouthful more, giving you a sense of pride, giving you a sense of feeling powerful, giving you a sense of being in control of your own health, your own body, your own destiny. I want you to imagine that in a different world, in a different parallel universe, at a different time in history, perhaps you would have been forced to do what they wanted you to do. You would have to eat the food they provided at the times they provided it. Whatever agenda they had, you wouldn't necessarily know until it was too late. They would be controlling you. And maybe they still are trying to control you. Maybe they're trying to control you through the addictive ingredients in the food. The salt, the sugar, those cheap ingredients that are highly addictive. Maybe they're trying to control you by the associations on adverts, TV commercials. Maybe when you see movies and TV shows, you start noticing that quite often they're always eating. Maybe back in the 1960s and 70s, snacks weren't really a thing. People just had 3 meals a day. So how is it that they've got an entire nation thinking that you eat whenever you feel like eating? That didn't happen by accident. Maybe they want you to think it's your choice. Maybe they want you to think you need more food than you do. Why would they want you to keep eating more food even if your body doesn't need it? Is there a relationship between eating too much food and getting sick? Who stands to benefit if you eat too much food and start having certain conditions? Does anyone benefit if you get diabetes, heart issues, indigestion, high blood pressure? And if nobody benefits, then there probably isn't an agenda. But maybe they will benefit if you get sick by eating too much. Maybe they want you to eat too much. Maybe thinking that it's your choice is part of the whole thing, so you don't feel like you're being controlled. I want you to imagine someone that was an independent thinker, maybe someone from history. Imagine them growing up at that time. What did they want her to do? Did it require courage to resist social pressures, peer pressure, parental pressures? And yet they were independent. They knew there was an agenda as to what was expected of them, and yet they followed their own path anyway. I want you to unlock that independent thinking within you. You will do what you want to do, not what they want you to do. You will eat what you want, when you want. If you want to eat more, it's because you want to eat more, not because they want you to eat more. You will eat those foods that you choose, not the ones that they stand to make the most money, or the ones that stand to make you more likely to be addicted or to get sick. They want you to eat more, but I want you to imagine it's no longer in the farm, but in your own life, perhaps a day or two from now. Maybe you're at your own dinner table, maybe in a restaurant, maybe somewhere else. And just imagine there is more food available than you need. I want you to get a sense that you can eat whatever you want, however much you want. And then just see what thoughts come into your mind when you start thinking that they want you to eat more, but... And notice that it unlocks that steely reserve, that independent thinking, that principled thinking, that thinking that it's you against them and they don't stand a chance. Because the more they increase the pressure, the more your resolve will be. Feel that resolve. And feel that resolve connecting to other people throughout time and history that also shared that resolve. And the more the pressure was increased, the more it unlocked an infinite resolve, an unbreakable, unshakable resolve to hold fast, to not be moved, to not be persuaded, to not be controlled. And maybe they'll try and use fear or expectation or bribes with discounts or fear that you're wasting. Maybe wasting food, maybe wasting money, but they want you to break, to follow their plan, and feel that resolve that the more they want you to eat, the less desire you have to eat, the more you will do what you want to do because of the reasons that you want to do it. I want you to get a sense that as you think about the next few days turning into weeks, turning into months, think about those key occasions where there might be pressure or expectation to eat more, and you already know in advance that you know how you will handle those situations. You will eat what you want to eat, at the speed, the quantity that you decide. You will find that you're able to get just as much pleasure from a small portion as you can from a bigger portion, just by focusing your attention on your senses, the smell, the taste, the texture, the temperature. All the value is in that first portion, and there is huge diminishing returns in anything after that. The pleasure, the nutrients is all in the first portion, and everything above that is just to fatten you up for their agenda, their motives. They want you to be just another statistic on a spreadsheet, laughing in boardrooms. The more you consume, the more likely you are to get sick, and who benefits? And then feel that resolve to resist what they want and instead to do what you want. Now it's time to return to the present, listening to my voice. Take a deep breath in through your nose and out through your nose. Just wiggle your fingers, wiggle your toes, but get a sense that you are unlocking independent free thinking, a steely resolve, harnessing and channeling the great spirit of great people that could resist great pressure. Starting to count to awaken you. 1, 2, 3, waking up. 4, 5, 6, more alert. 7, 8, open your eyes, open your eyes. 9, 10, wide awake. Wide awake, wide awake.